Allergies suck.
So much.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to the... You sound chipper. What's up with that?
I can sound it. I'm not. But
Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
We were like, ugh. And we turned on the camera and I'm like, how'd you, what? What? Let me explain. It's like, no, it's too much. Let me sum up. We love Princess Bride way too much. It's been really hot in my bedroom and I'm trying really hard not to turn on the air conditioning yet. Like, trying to make it maybe at least until June. I don't know. So I finally broke down and put a window fan in to blow air in. I tried sucking the air out and it didn't seem to move much air around. And now it's blowing all the pollen into my bedroom at night. And so I'm like, I have allergies are like, what?
Allergies are evil.
And my cat is also saying, what? Because he's like, I don't want wind blowing on me all night. What are you doing? He was part of the reason I was overheating. Because he would plop on me and, you know. So, yes. I took stuff that's supposed to clear out your... I took sinus medicine this morning. Or no, I took allergy medicine. And then I took stuff that's supposed to clear out your head, but it's the stuff that doesn't actually work, I realized. So, you know, swallowed horse pills for nothing. Anyway, hi! How are y'all doing? We are trying to get back to our regular Thursday filming after having the crawl and having some time off from the crawl. And this week we don't have any questions for Dear Becky and Lizzie. So we're just going to talk about stuff that we're doing. And I finished a little piece. I'm going to sew the ends in so I can wear it and have it look cute. But, and wait, okay. I'm fascinated watching her try to purl. I didn't mean that as mean as it came out.
I don't like purling, but I want this so bad. And we'll leave it right there.
And yeah. Anyway, so, I'm going to get some nuts and bolts stuff out of the way first because I spent all weekend exhausting myself working on classes. So I'm going to talk about that. And then we'll talk about what you've been up to and what I've been up to. So, first thing is we're finally going to get back to a Sunday sit and stitch, virtual sit and stitch. Whoops, doing this and talking is probably not the best idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we didn't have one in May because, like, so much has been happening in May. And, but we're going to get back to the dual platform virtual sit and stitch in June, which is on Facebook Live and also on Zoom. And you get into the Facebook Live, just go to our, I almost said YouTube. Go to our Facebook channel, like our page, whatever. And you should be able to see it, and you'll see me, and you'll hear what's going on Zoom. If you want to join us on Zoom, I'm going to go over time in a second. You get in with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
I looked over, and she's counting. So we'll repeat that again for weekly sit and stitch in just a second when she's not counting, too, because I totally interrupted her. But I think we're going to stick to 2 to 4 U.S. Eastern Time for the Sunday sit and stitch. We used to do 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Yeah, 4 hours. My brain is not really functioning today. It should get there, though. And we've had to scale back just to make, this is me with scaled back. So June 9th, Sunday, we were thinking about the absolute middle of the month, but that's Father's Day. So we're doing June 9th. And also, it's been a while, so earlier is better than later. June 9th, Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We hope to see anyone who can make it there. And again, if you want to, it's on Facebook Live. It's also on Zoom. Get in with a shop phone number to Zoom.
828-877-3550.
Anyway, okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is I got a whole bunch of classes. I basically scheduled all the Saturdays from here until August 10th. Except for June 8th, which is Fairy Hair. That's when the Fairy Hair is coming to visit. Oh! This just broke. Smaller end to weave in. So what that means is there's a lot of stuff going on with that, and some of it I'm going to try to make virtual. But what I can say right now, because it's really hard to remember all the dates and sew an end in on my Sophie scarf, is check out, if you go to sundragonartandfiber.com and you look at the calendar, the Saturday dates are there for both Corner to Corner Make-Along, which is our summer crochet make-along, and there's only a couple of classes that I have for Corner to Corner. It's funny, I feel like a lot of crochet stuff is just easier than knit stuff, or it doesn't take as long. It's not easier,
it's faster.
No, I don't mean
it builds faster.
Yes, which is different than classes. Yeah. Like learning the techniques, that's what I mean. I don't mean that crochet on the whole is easier than knitting. It's just some of the things I've picked don't need as many classes to learn all the ins and outs of the skills. So, and it does build faster overall once you learn stuff. So I have a couple of classes for Corner to Corner. I will do virtual classes if people are interested. Let me know. I might try to put it out there and just see if anyone signs up. I also have scheduled a sock seminar series, and it's like first session 2 weeks until the second session, only 1 week to the third, and then 2 weeks again till the fourth. I know that sounds like big and complicated, but it breaks up the sock into getting started with the cuff, 2 sessions on the heel, and I can't really do those back to back because especially if I want to do in person and virtual, that would kind of half kill me. So there's a week between sessions on the heel, and then 2 weeks until the session on the toe. So if people are trying to knit along and make the sock, there's a chance that they can get there. Some people are faster than others, and everyone knits at their own pace, and I'm really big on not forcing people to knit too fast. Like, I'm not a fan of homework, but it helps if you can get to the right place, and if not, then coming to the in-person or signing up for the virtual classes, you will get the recordings, so you can look at them when you need to and just attend. So I don't have the virtual versions of that available for purchase yet, but I will soon. But you can look at the online calendar. The Saturday dates are set, and they start like the end of June and go all the way through the beginning of August. And know that the Sunday sessions will be the day after the Saturday ones, and I'm still working on those. Anyway, that's the nuts and bolts stuff. I'm also doing one-off classes on getting you going and started on some of our favorites. And that shop favorites, I'm calling them. Some of them are good sellers, and some of them are just shop related. So in June, again, I'm not going through all the dates. If I can, I'll paste it into the description from my newsletter, because I'm trying to streamline how much I'm doing, and it's only going so well. Anyway, in June, we're going to have a class on the I Am Dragon cowl, which I will show you later. In July, our one-off that we're focusing on is going to be the Night Shift or Shift by Andrea Mowry. Just practicing and getting you started, practicing like the stitch rhythm, I'm going to call it, and then getting you started. It's like learning the technique and then starting the project is what I'm trying this time around. So I can hopefully squeeze them into one class instead of having to have multiple sessions where you have to wait. And then August, we're doing the Papillon, the butterfly shawl. And if there's interest, we'll do virtual sessions on that too. So there's a lot going on.
Lots.
And let's see, what else was I going to say? So check out the online schedule for that. I will try to put it in the description. We'll see if that works. I'm not sure if I'll get to that. I was late just coming in today. No shock there.
That and the electronics are not cooperating lately.
Yeah, sometimes the electronics are being funky. So anyway, yes. I'm trying to stay on track. No show notes, people. So we're back to having our Tuesday virtual sit and stitch for 1 hour. We're doing that from 7 to 8. And that's U.S. Eastern Time. And again, you can join us for that on Zoom, and you get in with a shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
And now I think we've gone through, almost everything, but this is also one that I'm only doing in person. In a week and a half, I am having a Fix Your Mistakes class for knitters. And that's only in person. I have a bunch of videos free on YouTube for fixing mistakes. It's basically what I cover in person. That's on June 1st. I believe June 1st is a Saturday. So anyone who's local and wants to come to that, we still have a couple spots open for that. So, Liz, what have you been up to lately? What would you like to share with us, if anything?
I made a couple more squares. I'm not bringing them over because they're the same as, squares. I don't think I worked much on my brioche this week.
Oh, I haven't touched my brioche in forever.
Yeah.
Which is a problem, I know, but
Tuesday night, while sitting at Sit and Stitch, I was like, I wonder what other sweaters I could make. And so I went down the rabbit hole, and the same designer that designed several of the sweaters that I'm working on, 2 that I have finished and 2 that I have on needles.
Do you remember her name?
It's Kat on Ravelry. Katarine, she's on it.
Okay, I'm like, there's probably more than one Kat.
Yeah.
Ravelry,
I'll have Rebecca post the Ravelry link. Or not.
It's fine. We'll see if I get to it.
I'll tell everybody the name of the sweater. Mm-hmm. It's a cardigan.
I will try to get the link. If you don't see it, message us, and then Liz can put in the link. Yes?
It's the Dreamy Weave cardigan. That's it. And I've got to blow up the picture.
Your new pretty iPad.
My new pretty iPad. This is why I love it. It's a different texture.
It's a really fun texture.
So, I was like, oh, I must have it. I must. And so I was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to start it right now. I'll just buy the pattern. And
that lasted 24 hours.
Yeah, because yesterday I was sitting there making squares going, I really don't want to make squares anymore. Shocker. So,
yes.
Yesterday, before 4 o'clock, I bought all the yarn for my project. I am using, it's double-stranded on an 11, and it's supposed to be bulky and fingering, and I'm doing bulky and DK-ish. So this is the Rika.
From
Noro. And this is the Pure...
Alpaca Pure. From Cascade.
And I'm
dyed alpaca.
Double stranding those. And
so 1 strand of each, just to be clear. Not 2 strands of each.
Before I left the shop, I was halfway cast on.
Of course.
Because for my size, it was 201 stitches. I was like, nah! But I did it. So, hooray!
You did it! Hooray!
So, let me find... Okay, I'm going this way. So, this is what it looks like.
It's funky.
Yeah.
Now, on the purl row, so you're doing a texture stitch. Is it only on the right side that the texture stitch happens and you just purl back on the wrong side?
No, you're doing the texture stitch on both the front and the back. And...
Oh. No wonder you have to continental purl.
The front side is knit and the back side is purl, only because of the way the stitches have to happen. I can't Norwegian purl, which is killing my brain. So I'm getting really, really good at a continental purl, a traditional continental purl, shall I say? But
I laugh, but
I am cropping
because I
it.
commiserate.
I'm cropping it a lot because of my skirts and whatnot. So, I only have to do 201 stitches for like 4 inches. And I was looking at it. I'm about halfway there. So,
You call, okay, I guess that's 2 inches.
just about. Yep.
That's the benefit of doing short sweaters. I cannot pull off short. I mean, I wear a lot of dresses now at work, so I could have crop sweaters, but I just...
Well, I mean, if I was wearing
Words.
normal,
Sorry.
culturally appropriate clothes, because like normal cultural, like
I know what you're trying to say. It's fine.
yeah. Anyway, if I was wearing normal clothes, I say normal, and everybody's like, "Yeah, but that's normal for you," and I'm like, "Yes, but it's not what the rest of everybody else wears." So, if I was wearing normal clothes, I wouldn't wear cropped.
But you have your dresses.
With all my dresses and the pockets and it's just easier to crop.
Mm-hmm. It fits you better when it's cropped. And that's fine. It's all good.
So.
I have to, okay, I usually make longer than normal, and so I don't do the cropped, and that's because when I'm not wearing dresses, my pants like roll under my little belly, muffiny, whatever we're going to call that, and then I feel like I'm exposing my belly, and I don't like to do that. Although when I'm wearing dresses, that's not an issue. So, in theory, you know, but then I'd have dress sweaters and pant sweaters, and it gets complicated. So
you have a couple of cropped
I do the ranunculus kind of crop.
And the juniper crop and the soldotna.
That reminds me, I started a ranunculus, but it's in the other room.
Shocker.
It's only the cast on. I really haven't done enough to show y'all. So, like, that'll be, like, for next week because I have enough stuff to show off this week. But I'm starting a ranunculus with the Zoe. Are you all done? Are there other things you want to talk about?
No. Mom asked if I was doing this, and I said there were bets as to whether it would be done by 2030. And Mom goes, why would you buy yarn that you're not going to finish the project on? And I'm like, I have the best intentions until another project catches my eye.
You have yarn at home on needles from like when the shop opened.
Yes.
Still on needles.
Yes. That's why I have 197 projects on needles.
Okay. So I started a ranunculus, but it's not here because I was working on it while teaching yesterday, and it's in the other room, and I don't feel like going to get it. So, but I'd only done, I did the cast on. I did the double twist loop cast on with some Zoe. We have some new Zoe that really gradually changes colors, like just fades in and out of the tonal. It's like an ombre. And so I figured I'm taking the sample yarn we got for that, which is a green color, and I'm going to make a ranunculus. And I cast on for morning meditation. I feel like we're both having long pauses today.
We are.
That's life, though. I cast on for morning meditation yesterday, and I tried to sit and do the first row, and a double twist loop cast on is kind of like just a backwards loop cast on in that it's a little finicky for that first row. And I dropped what I thought was one stitch, and I was very proud of myself for getting it back on, but I'm like, there's more yarn there. I bet I dropped 2 stitches. And when I got to the end, I was like, yes, I did. Because I was like, it's this weird cast on that'll settle. It'll be fine. And I got to the end of it, and I was off by a stitch. I ended with a knit instead of a purl. And I looked back at that spot that I had fudged, and I didn't like how it looked. Because when you're knitting with a plant fiber, there's a lot less give to it. So when things are wonky, it looks wonky. And so I restarted it at the shop, which means I'm still on only like the first or second row of ribbing. So there's not much to show with that. So I'm going to save that for next week. This little guy I started during the crawl because I wanted to do something with our new cotton blend. We have 2 cotton blends from Noro. One is the Compeito, which is already online, which has soft, really subtle color changes. I'll show that next, of what I'm doing next. And that's like almost an even split, 30-ish, 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 between cotton, silk, and polyamide, like a synthetic. The Natsumeki from Noro, they both came out about the same time. This one, they're both considered DK. The Compayito is a little fluffier and has a little less yardage for a 150 gram cake. The Natsumeki, this is K1 and an N1. This is the N1. And this has brighter color changes. You're only going to get so vivid with cotton because it doesn't super saturate the same way that animal fibers do. So this is as bright as we're probably getting for now from Noro with this. But this is 60% cotton, 25%, I think, silk, and 15%, something like that, polyamide. That's the rough breakdown. It's a lot more cotton. You can feel it. It's smoother in many ways. It feels more like cotton than the other one. The other one feels extra fuzzy. And by fuzzy, I mean...
it feels softer.
Yeah, the other one's softer. Not that this one's not soft. Both of these, I think, are softer than the Noro. They love to claim the unfinished characteristics of it. So it feels like it's kind of a single ply with some stranding going on in it.
They are way softer than the Ito.
Both of the cotton ones are much softer. Oh God, it's gonna be a day. Are much softer than the wool blends, and some of that's the silk and some of that's the cotton. So, but there's more yardage on one of these guys. I'm not going over specifics right now. We could do it another time if you want. And there's also brighter color changes. So this one, I was searching for a project. I'm making a top out of the Compayito. Honestly, this yarn might be better for a tank top than the Compayito, but that's what I'm doing. So, because the Compayito with 30% silk is actually going to be quite warm.
Silk is warm.
Silk is warm, where plant fibers breathe a little better in the summer, but silk adds warmth to anything. So, honestly, for me, I would say if you can't do wool, and you're looking for something to make like a more wintry top out of, or like a warmer top, I would use the Compayito. I mean, anything can be used for anything, which is what I'm kind of demonstrating by what I'm doing. But this one, I was looking for something that would only take one ball. And I finally decided to make a Sophie scarf, because Sophie scarves and Sophie shawls, both from Petite Knit, have been really popular lately. They're not super complicated. It's an easy, almost mindless knit. And the scarf, it was only 140 yards of yarn. And I was like, so I'm not even going to use half. And actually, 150 gram cake, I finished my Sophie scarf. This is it. I think it's actually came out a little small. I didn't test my gauge. So I think it came out smaller than the large side of the scarf is supposed to, but it's just a little scarf. I still have 111 grams left of this. So it took not even 40 grams of this cake. So if you're doing it out of a different DK yarn that's 100 grams, you're not going to use a full skein for the Sophie scarf. And it's got an I-cord edge. You're just knitting, and every certain number of rows, because I don't want to give away too much of the pattern without you paying for the pattern, because that's why the pattern writer wrote it. She deserves her credit for it. You're increasing every certain number of rows, and then when you get to the right width here, you're decreasing every certain number of rows. It's totally garter. I went through one color repeat. I started down here with this mustardy yellow, and it really shows off really well how the colors change, but please know if you get the Natsumeki and you make something wider than this at its widest was like 30 plus stitches. It's going to change colors at a different rate. It's not going to be slow color changing if you make a bigger piece. But here's where I hit that, the end sticking to me. Here's where I hit that same beginning color again. So I made it through just over one color repeat. And the Sophie scarf, it's meant to be like, you could, like this one, the size it came out for me and my neck It's like I could see wearing it just being like, look, it's a little accent piece. Ha. On her pattern, she has one where you start with a thick part in the front and you can wrap it around again and tie it. And that would probably choke me off too much because there's not as much give to cotton. So a wool one might be able to block bigger. I have not blocked this. I just finished it and tied my ends in. But look at that. It's a nice, easy piece. And the Sophie shawl is a bigger version of this.
It would be great for Christmas presents or...
Right? Like, I could make probably at least 3 out of this. And, ooh, you're giving me ideas for next Christmas. Everyone's just getting little scarves. So, but this is cute, you know? And I figured, especially for a cotton, this would be a fun thing to make and wear as an accessory without it being super heavy and warm. So we'll see how long before I might take this off pretty quickly. But I think this is super cute, and it shows off the colors.
Question, with your Sophie scarf, could you use it as a bandana? Like, or not a bandana, but, you know, just a little headband.
Let's find out. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Just enough to pull your, you know, hair back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does.
Especially if I only tie it once. And I could do something like this. I don't have to, like... I've already got a headband on, but yeah, that could totally be... Oh, I might have to wear that, like, for my hair at some point, too. That's a very good question. It's not like a triangle bandana, where it covers the back of your head, but it could be a little headband thingy. I like that. That's cute. I feel like a pirate for some reason. Because I've got my little hoop earrings on. Anyway, so, yes, you absolutely could. And I would probably want to take the headband I already have, my little, you know, off to do that. But yes. So there's multiple ways to wear a little itty-bitty piece like this. And again, it doesn't take a whole lot of yarn. That's one of the fun things. I think this would be an excellent beginner project or mindless small project. For anyone who's a more advanced knitter, as long as garter doesn't like start to melt your brain after a while. But you know,
well, and it's a good, like, I'm frustrated with my other projects. It's a good palette mind cleanser.
Well, which is what I did during the crawl because I only had so much brain power. We only have a few minutes left, so I'm gonna see what else I want to show y'all. Since I mentioned the compito, let me do that. I have too many in progress projects, and some of them I might not have made much progress on. So I can't remember I think last week when I showed this off, I had joined them together. It looks like a little bra, but this is what I'm making out of the compito. I'm making a tank top, and this is actually the top part of the tank top. If it's not over the girls, it's not a bra. So, but you can see how like subtler color changes than what I'm wearing, than the Sophie scarf, right? Much more subtle color changes. Compito Natsumeki. Okay, so I've been a little bit obsessed with beads because we still have some of the trunk show from Fiber Fairy. At some point we're gonna have to give stuff back and hopefully hold on to some stuff, but I am almost finally almost done with my I Am Dragon cowl that was from last year's yarn crawl, and I just stalled out for so long, and I'm down to, like, it starts on size 3 needles, and it's really cute and fun once you get going. The edging on it, if you want to do the top edging on it, if you want to do what she writes, is on a size 1 needle, and I'm to the point where I've gotten through all the fun stuff and it's just seed stitch for the top. And I stalled out last night. I was almost done. So, but isn't this so pretty? And it's got beads. I still have a few beads. Like, you pre-string the beads. This is what we're going to do for our June class. You pre-string the beads and you move them up when it's time. And that's because the beads go between stitches. I'll show you another one I'm doing where I'm putting the beads on as I go. And I'm done with all the beads now. This is what it will look like roughly, because I have it on a nice long needle. When I finish and cast it off, I have like 5 rows left of seed stitch, which I had to take a break on because I was seed stitch on a size 1 needle.
Yeah.
Mindless knitting in between that is good. But this is super cute. We have some kits in 3 different colors here at the shop. They're not online because they're on loan. If we purchase any of them from Fiber Fairy, then they will go online. But this one, contact the shop if you're interested. The kits are $40. And I believe she's got codes in them for a free pattern from Alexandra Davidoff, who wrote this. And I'm so excited to almost be done with this finally. And just because one bead project isn't enough, I've made some good progress on this one. I can't remember if I don't think I'd started this when we filmed last time.
It was last week.
Huh?
It was last week.
Yeah, but I don't think I had started it for...
I think you started it like after the filming.
Yeah, so this is the Starlight Cowl was catching my attention. I thought it was a shawl. It's not, but that's okay. So I've actually made progress on it because this one, see those cute little beads? I just love the dark color too. I think the kit we have left, the yarn isn't quite as dark. But you put the beads on with a teeny tiny crochet hook as you go. And this one's really fun, and because of the beading, it's actually going pretty fast. I'm supposed to do 4 repeats. I'm almost through my 2nd repeat. So this one I might get. We have one more version of this, I think, at the shop. Again, you got to contact the shop. But it's the yarn that Fiber Fairy dyed, who's a local dyer, is like super dark. It's like a purpley blue. And then the beads are purple, are more purple than blue. The yarn is more blue than purple. And they really like play off each other. I was trying to take pictures this morning because this was my morning meditation. And the shininess of the beads, the camera can't capture it. But I have this little thread crochet hook. I need to bring more of these in because I don't really have enough in the shop to like sell them online. It's so teeny tiny and sharp. It comes with a cover so you don't like poke yourself or other things with it when you're not using it. So, and I found I've really got to pull the yarn as thin as possible to make sure it stays in the hook and doesn't split when I pull it through the beads, but I'm getting a lot better at that. So those are my 2 bead projects. And then I think the only other project I'm going to show off because we need to go soon is our summer make-along is crochet. And it is on the scale of corner to corner, which you start with 1 corner and you get bigger and then you get smaller if you're making a square. And it's a really great technique for blankets. And then there's versions where the blankets actually have color work. So those are the 2 classes, is basics of corner to corner and then how to read a pattern. I still have to test the pattern to make sure it's going to work, the pattern I'm using. But how to engage with a corner to corner pattern that has a pattern within it for color work. Because corner to corner from crochet, it's a really neat, it's like, you know, granny squares are neat for building a square that looks funky, that's bigger, and then you piece those all together. Corner to corner has little squares of double crochets that are building blocks. It's very modular. It's like the first row has 1, and then the next row has 2, and then the next row has 3. So, but you don't have to only go out and in. Like this one, I went out until I had 10 blocks, and now I'm going straight. It's a diagonal that's building a straight rectangle that will be a cowl when I'm done. And this was the Peach Orchard Infinity Scarf. It's one of the things I came across on Ravelry. It's a free pattern because it's a woman's blog post. It's one of the ones I came across that I think would be a great way to learn as a small project, something that, you know, will just toss around your neck. People are making not just blankets out of it anymore. So this one's fun because I'm using Wizard. It's kind of like the crochet version of Entrelac, but I think it's not as complicated as Entrelac. That's what I mean by the easier thing I mentioned way back at the beginning. I'm using Barocco Wizard, which color changes in random orders, and it's just fun to see how it changes and what's going to happen as I keep going. If I had made a blanket where I kept going out on both sides instead of starting to go straight over here, then it would be changing at an even different rate. But right now it's like, it's fun to see the color changing. And when I'm done, I haven't gotten to the end of it to see what happens at the other end. But when I'm done, I'll have an infinity cowl, like an infinity scarf, which is basically a longer cowl that maybe you can double up. The pattern calls for more yardage than on one of these, but I might just go until I'm just about to run out of one of these and see how long it is, because I didn't test gauge. I'm just having fun with it. But this is what you can learn how to do with the beginning one of our corner to corner classes. And then I want to make a llama blanket. I want to make a blanket with a llama in it. I found a pattern for it, and once I pick yarn, etc., I'll let you all know how that's going. So, we got to open the shop because, you know, once again, I came late. But it's been great to share with y'all what we're doing. I'm actually really liking this Sophie scarf.
It's cute.
It's super cute. This can be made out of anything, but this is really soft against my neck. Like, I'm not worrying about if the alpaca or the wool or whatever is going to be scratchy. This is nice against my neck. Everyone's different, though. Just because I don't find it irritating doesn't mean someone else won't or will or whatever. But now I want to make these in, like, all different yarns. So that's why it's so addictive. And everyone's like, ooh, ooh.
I'm almost done with my...
with your pearl row?
With my pearl row.
Go you. Awesome. She doesn't like purling, but it got her through her to hang out with y'all.
There's stuff going on, so it's not just purling.
This is so interesting because, like, if I make another one, I won't have these colors hanging out right by my face. But it's of course, you know, my gauge had it, so it's the same colors down there. But there's other colors around my
they're actually color blocked opposite.
Yeah, it was totally random that happened. Anyway, doesn't mean it's going to happen for everybody. All right, we have to make sure that we're available for customers, so we're gonna go. But what do you usually say at the end?
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
Yay! I think my allergy medicine's finally kicking in. We are almost at 1,900 subscribers, and when we hit 2,000 subscribers, we will have a YouTube only sale. We keep either threatening or enticing you with that, and we hope we are able to do that for you soon, but we have just over 100 people to go. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and we're going to go deal with the hordes who are not here yet. There's nobody here yet, so we're good. But yes, we will talk to you all next week. Bye! Bye.